This is the inaugural episode of Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. Today's episode, we're going to be covering LA Sevens. We're going to talk about MLR Vegas weekend. We're going to do our weekly pick'ems, and I got guests calling in. I have Denny Gum in studio. Denny Gum is retired lieutenant colonel, and we love him. He's the founder of the J Bear Arctic Legion Military Rugby Club. Let's get into what this show is. This show is nothing but rugby. We're not talking about basketball. We're not talking about soccer. This isn't wrestling practice. And it's not Taekwondo. This is nothing but rugby. Now that covers everything. We're going to talk about top 14. We're going to go Premiership. We're going to talk MLR. We're going to go HSBC 7 Series. We're going to talk Six Nations. We're going to talk World Cup. We're going to talk Olympics in Tokyo 2020. Nothing but rugby. So let's get right into it. LA Sevens. Heard from Dan Lyle.
25 bars, a rugby passport. We're replicating the good parts about Las Vegas, putting them here in Los Angeles, which is the Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, and Manhattan Beach, 1 mile apart from each other, and 25 bars and restaurants. It's called the Rugby Passport, and people will go get stamps and drink specials, and there's hotels around that as well. So we call it the 20-20-20, 20 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes from the beach, and a 20-minute Uber ride to anything you want to do in Los Angeles. But all the rugby fans, have a look at la7srugby.com today.
There's interviews with him online. I'm super excited for LA Sevens. I got my tickets punched, hotel bought. USA is on a quest for a three-peat. We are back-to-back champs, just like World War I, World War II. We are back-to-back champs in the Sevens tournament in America. Can USA get that third? We were in the finals of every single tournament last year in the series, so will this be the first one we make the final, and can we defend our titles? I think so. I think we're going to come out supercharged and inspired. One of the big narratives, one of the big stories is Carlin Isles versus Perry Baker. Now, those two names are definitely familiar to everybody. They are, in the rugby world, the two fastest men known. Carlin Isles is known as the fastest man in rugby, and Perry Baker's two-time MVP. And they are on their race for 200 tries. Carlin Isles with 199 tries and Perry Baker with 198. We know this weekend they will break the 200, being the first Americans to ever do it. Question is, who will do it first? The second question is, what does this mean for their legacy? What does it mean for American rugby and how far we've come? Carlin Isles has 55 U.S. tournaments now under his belt and is our most senior member. Perry Baker is one of the newer guys on the scene, but a two-time MVP, and is on pace to break all kinds of records. He's a guy that's going to retire with 300, 400. Like, he isn't stopping anytime soon. Big Perry Baker fan. Madison Hughes is returning. Madison Hughes was out with minor injuries in this last tournament. He was out of Sydney. Cody Melfi replaced him. He's a stud playmaker, real linchpin. But Madison Hughes is the linchpin of our championship squad, and him returning is going to be huge for that locker room. Another reason to watch is because Danny Barrett's a beast. We got Danny Barrett. Everybody loves watching Danny Barrett. Cue the Danny Barrett highlight. Woo! Man, that guy is a beast. No one throws better, has better stiffies and offloads than Danny Barrett. You know, the man is a human highlight reel of punishment on the pitch. I'm joined by Denny Gum, and Denny, why aren't you going to LA this year?
I can't stand LA. In 2006, 7, and 8, it was in San Diego, and then they moved it to Las Vegas, and now they're moving it to LA. When it was in San Diego, it was awesome because you'd go to one pub and there'd be Canadians and there'd be New Zealanders in there, Kiwis, and then you go to the next pub, it'd be US and Australia. It was really cool. You could intermingle with the players. And then they moved it to Vegas. It just didn't work out, at least for me, very well at all.
But something really exciting about it on the social side. You said you enjoyed the Gas Limes bar crawl. LA Sevens just released, they're doing a rugby passport. So
Rugby Hub Passport, guys, February 28th to March 1st. It's your guide to the Rugby Hub. Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Torrance. The Rugby Passport is for anybody looking for fun outside the stadium. You grab your Rugby Passport with a map that guides you to numerous beachfront bars, restaurants, and stores offering rugby specials all over the LA Sevens weekend. You got Friday night, the kickoff party starts at Hennessy's, located at the Promenade downtown Hermosa Beach. Saturday night, the Rugby Passport party starts at Sharky's, located on the Promenade downtown Hermosa Beach. Sunday night, official LA Sevens wrap-up party. Where else other than Redondo Beach Pier? It's going to be great. The Nothing But Rugby podcast boys are going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night doing giveaways, challenges. This Rugby Passport is for a bunch of big fat party animals.
Really excited for the Rugby Passport. You can get online at thela7s.com and order your passport, order your tickets.
Good thing nobody's driving. They're all Ubering.
Yeah.
Or
That's
walking.
the 2020. It's 20 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes from the stadium, and 20 minutes from the bars. All right, we're gonna make our picks. Pool A, we got Fiji, France, Argentina, and Korea. Who do you got coming out of that one?
I say Fiji and France out of Pool A.
I mean, Fiji obviously has to be the favorites coming out of that pool. They're gonna probably go 3-0 in there. I'm thinking Argentina. Argentina
Why?
takes it past France. I think they're a well-built squad. I haven't been too impressed with France in the division. If we're looking at the scores for the men's right now in the pool play, I mean, France is in the third, is 3. Argentina's down there at 8. They're right there, right on the brink, and their games have been very competitive. I think if Argentina controls the ball they want, they're right there to compete. And if they control the ball and win that time of possession, they're going to score more points. Pool B, what do you think Korea's going to do in this tournament?
I don't think they're going to do very good at all.
This was a big surprise when it got released this morning.
We'll find out where they stand. Out of Pool B, I say it's going to be Canada and South Africa.
Yeah.
You don't think so, I know.
I know South Africa is coming out of that pool. South Africa's tier 1 world class. They're one of the best. You're taking Canada. I think Kenya's going to just run past Canada and Ireland. I think they're too fast, they're too athletic. If they can win the set pieces, if they can win the restarts, they're very formidable. And I mean, I'm not trying to sleep on Ireland and Canada. Those boys know how to play rugby, but I just don't think in a game of sevens where there's so much space to cover, I think Kenya's got the edge and speed on these guys.
Pool C has Samoa, Scotland, Australia, and your favorite team, us.
USA. Yeah, really excited for USA in this one.
And I'm picking Australia and USA out of that 4-team pool.
There's one we agree on. I think Australia and USA are coming out of it. USA has won the last 2 HSBC Sevens tournaments. They were in Las Vegas. This is the same tournament, but like we said, it's been moved to LA. It moves around every once in a while, whoever's bidding on it, you know. So with USA, back-to-back champs. We are really good at defending our home soil. We've won the last 2. We're bringing back a squad. We're healthy with Madison Hughes coming back, Danny Barrett, Perry Baker, Carlin Isles. We got a whole squad of healthy runners, guys that know how to win, have won, and we're talking about the same guys that were in every single final last year in the HSBC series. We're low in the matrix. I think we're 12th. I can check that right here. I think we're 12th in the standings.
I think we're higher than that.
USA is 6th. You were right. So we're higher than that. USA is 6th on the chart. And right now, there's so much fire right now in that locker room for Carlin Isles and Perry Baker to hit that 200. So I think we are a team that wants to score a lot of points. And I think we're a team that's inspired. We're going to have our friends, our family, everyone there. And I'm picking USA to come out of this pool and win the whole thing. They're going to win the quarters, the semis, the finals. These guys know how to perform at home. USA is going to win it. We got the horsepower to do it, and I think the boys put it together. But Pool D, we got England, Spain, New Zealand, Wales. You're taking who to come out of that one? To lose the USA?
England and New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I haven't, even though USA is my team and I'm cheering for them, I don't know who's going to win this because so many of these teams are right there. They're all together, and it's a chess game, in sevens, and it's just it could be any one of the top 8 teams that go into the semifinals.
A big difference between sevens and 15s is the time of the game, right? A sevens match is 2 7-minute halves, so we're talking a total of 14 minutes. Lots of sprinting with only 7 players on each side. Whole lot more space to cover, a whole lot more running. 15s. There's 15 guys on each side. We're talking an 80-minute game with 2 40-minute halves. Much longer, and there's less space to cover. That's the really 2 big differences. So with sevens, it's really who comes down with possession, right? Because the ball is always contested with lineouts and scrums. There's always a way to win it. In sevens, more than 15s, I think time of possession is the most important stat. And winning your restarts and owning and being efficient in the set pieces. So that's why it's very hard to determine, because with all these top tier clubs, they're really all right there. It's always so competitive unless it gets ugly, because like basketball, one player can absolutely take over a game. If there's one player on the field that nobody can tackle and nobody can catch, he can absolutely take over that game. And this is the inaugural chug.
We only have one beer, otherwise I'd drink with him, but
we got plenty of beer.
I'll catch up later.
We got plenty of beer. Let that foam go down.
No, that's the best part. Suck that foam down.
Because Beer is best. Beer is best. Makes you big, it makes you strong, puts more muscle on the old ding dong. Beer makes Bonnie babies, puts hair upon your chest, big chest. What did Adam say to Eve? But beer is best. Denny, you got a favorite rugby song?
I can't sing it. It'll be like beep beep, beep beep, and beeping the whole thing out. Never mind.
MLR is going to be a huge coverage on here. We got lots of news to bring you. This weekend is the Season 3 kickoff. We got two-time defending champions, the Seattle Seawolves, taking on the San Diego Legion in Torero Stadium in San Diego, February 8th. Really excited for that matchup. And then all kinds of other matchups. We got 5 games kicking off in Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, which is going to be absolutely huge. Got to fill you guys in what happened with happened in this offseason. So first things first, we have a new commissioner. George Killebrew is the new hire. He was a chief of revenue officer out with the Dallas Mavericks, 27 years experience. He's 57 years old. He's young, he's hungry, and I think he's the perfect man for the job, for the growth that rugby's trying to do. There's a new league format. This is something new. Last year they just did top 6 teams and a bye week of the whole league, because there was only 9 teams last year go to the playoffs. This year we've split into conferences, so it's going to be just like the NBA with an Eastern and Western Conference, split by the Mississippi River. Western Conference, all 6 teams are from the original inaugural season of Major League Rugby, the Colorado Raptors. Colorado Raptors, formerly the Glendale Raptors. You have the Seattle Seawolves, 2-time MLR champions. They're hoping to hoist the shield for a 3-peat. We're really excited to see them. You got the San Diego Legion, who are the 2-time runner-ups. We got the Utah Warriors, we got the Houston SaberCats, and we got the Austin Gilronis. Am I pronouncing that right? Gilronis. They got bought out by some Aussie man who named it after some Aussie drink, Gilronis. If that's not the most rugby thing I've ever heard, some millionaire buys a professional team and names the team after his favorite drink. If that's not the most rugby thing I've ever heard of, I don't know what is. Eastern Conference is one of the original team, NOLA. They're the only original team in this conference, so let's see how they can get it done. You got Rugby ATL out of Atlanta. You got Old Glory DC out of Washington, DC. You have the New England Free Jacks, Rugby United New York, and the Toronto Arrows. Toronto Arrows and Rugby United New York made the playoffs last year in their inaugural seasons. The precedence has been set. I think they're 2 of the top teams coming out of there, coming out of that Eastern Conference. Although NOLA's reloaded and they're good to go. I think the Eastern Conference is really up for grabs this year in their openings in ATL's and DC's opening season. We've heard great things about ATL's scrum. Preseason has been completed. These teams have a good idea of who they are. I think we're going to get a really competitive Eastern Conference this year. Western Conference, I'm Seattle, San Diego, and Utah. I think are going to run away, and Colorado's got a great roster. Donald Brighouse, 4 caps with Samoa. They're bringing in, as a tight end, they got Kensuke Hatakeyama. Hatakeyama. I'm going to butcher that man's name. Kensuke Hatakeyama. Oh, man, I'm going to need to get corrected on this one. But he's got 78 caps with Japan. I need to know the Japanese pronunciation of that name as a tight head. And anytime you're adding that kind of experience in the offseason to your roster, international experience, that's huge. And hopefully it pays off residuals in the locker room for them. My week 1 predictions. The weekend of the 8th, we got Houston versus Colorado. I'm taking Colorado in that. I think they're going to be a bit well put together. NOLA versus DC. I'm taking NOLA in that one. Atlanta versus Utah. Utah's going to run away with it, giving them 1.5. New England Free Jacks versus Rugby United New York. I'm taking New York in that matchup. They brought in Patty Ryan at tight head, and he's the best prop in the league. Patty Ryan's an absolute stud. They picked him up from San Diego last year, and he was an anchor in their pack. Huge pickup for Rugby United New York. I think they could anchor down on him for a championship run. San Diego Legion versus Seattle Seawolves in Torero Stadium. That is my even. I'm going to call that one even. It really feels like a coin toss. Long run, I think Seattle Seawolves are going to be the better team. They're a team that picks up momentum. They had a slow start last year, but they find their identity. They have that culture in the locker room, and they have a very great traveling fan base. So they don't get exhausted. They have energy in the second half of the season because everywhere they go on that away schedule, they have a fan base. It's awesome seeing what's going on in Seattle. It pays to win. It pays to succeed. San Diego Legion are a good squad. They picked up Nonu Manu from the All Blacks. Man, I pronounced the name and you could just see the unassurance that I'm pronouncing it right. But he's a former All Black, absolute beast. We all recognize him when we see him. Won a couple World Cups. He can completely change a franchise in a locker room. Guys like Ross Neal, MVP Brad Tucker, Eric Duchel. You got some real studs coming back, and really excited to see the Seawolves. They're formidable. They've always had the best pack in the league. They're unbelievable in the scrums. They will scrum their way to victory, as you saw in the championship highlight, the final play of the 2019 championship against San Diego. They scrummed to victory. Unbelievable finish. I was at Matt Nuska Brew Pub for a watch party at that one, and everyone on the first floor thought that it was a earthquake because we were jumping up with excitement at our championship watch party. Lots of Seawolves fans here in Alaska. And Austin versus Toronto. Pretty sure Toronto's going to beat them. I don't know what Austin's doing. And Toronto, we do know what's going on in Toronto is that they got tons of Canadians on the roster. Something really interesting is they're made up of all Canadians and Uruguayans. I've met plenty of Canadians, and I got no doubt those guys can get along with everybody. They're good people, good crowd, great rugby country. They grow up loving the game. There's a love for the game, and I think Toronto. I give them 3 against Austin. I think Austin's defense will be formidable. But yes, I'll take Toronto over Austin. Those are my week 1 predictions. Right there. Now you see them. Now you heard them.
So this is the Nothing But Rugby podcast with Kevin Hein. I'm joined by Shalom Suniula, and we are at the Upper One Studios in Anchorage, Alaska. Shalom, you already told me you had a big practice today. You had a meeting. What kind of impact has new head coach Keith Lensing made in the locker room and in these meetings?
Yeah, good question. Well, thank you for having me on. He's made a huge impact for us. Obviously, for those who have been following the journey of the Seawolves, we've been without a coach the first year, second year. We had Richie Walker in the late edition. Not the best preparation, but it worked out at the end. And this year we've had a head coach right from get-go. So it's been, from that standpoint, he's added a lot of value in terms of our preparation and going into the first game. As the guys are all excited, and preseason. We had a preseason head-off against Tasman and the Pride, which is a team up in Victoria, and we're ready to go. Let's put it that way. We're just as excited as we were year 1, year 2, and here goes year 3.
Here goes year 3 for sure. Mentioning of the coach and past hires and everything kind of brings me to this next question. Is, as a fan from day one, I got to say I love seeing the Phil Mack coaching hire, bringing him in as an assistant to Keith Lensing. Is there any one individual that has contributed more to the Seawolves than Phil Mack? I mean, here's a guy that in the inaugural season was player and coach. That's something you only see in movies like The Tropics with Will Ferrell. How unbelievable is it?
An instrumental piece to our organization. Phil Mack is such an instrumental piece to our organization. I mean, his leadership, the maturity he has to go back from a player to coach, and just to respect everybody, not just the players, but those in the administrative roles. Those who know Phil, he carries that aura around him, and he has that about him. So, great guy, real pinnacle piece to our puzzle, and now stepping into an assistant coach to Keith. Those two have just been a powerhouse for us so far, so we're excited.
That's awesome. I'm really excited it's working out. That locker room, that culture, everything is coming together good. And you can see it's coming together. You just had this great matchup against the Tasman Mako coming from New Zealand in the Mitre Cup 10 championship winners. What does an undefeated preseason mean for the Seawolves?
We're not really reading too much into it in terms of the result. It is great to get a win. But for the most part, we had individual processes, sort of goals that we wanted to set, and we weren't 100% in those, but definitely gave us a benchmark to work off going on to year one. As you know, man, not all championships are won. No championships are won in February, March. They're won on the back end of the season. So it's a long season. So we're just hitting our benchmarks and make sure that we're firing at the right end of the season.
No, if there's any team that understands the pace of a championship season, what it takes to make it, you guys know how to commit to the long run, make adjustments as the season goes on, and that's why you guys are so formidable down the stretch. Roland Suniula, your older brother, went to join Andrew out in Austin with the Gilgronis. I love you and your brothers, the Suniula family. It's you guys are the Mannings of the MLR. You guys are the Ken Griffeys of the MLR. You guys are the first family of rugby. Roland has 17 caps. You have 18 caps, and your big brother Andrew, 39 caps. Give us a little inside look on the first family of rugby.
Yeah. So we've been very, very privileged to take the national team together. If anything, that's definitely it's up there with the best of the memories in terms of rugby. And you play for nothing in the MLR. You play for nothing when you play against each other. It's nothing but for bragging rights at the dinner table, right?
Right.
And there's going to be plenty of those in the future. Not only with just us, but then our kids and things like that. So it's the last time we had an encounter together was Andrew and Roland lined up against each other, Seattle versus Austin here at Starfire. I think it was the last round robin game, and I was unfortunately out with a minor injury, and they were just telling me how scared I was. It doesn't matter what the injury was, I was still scared. If there was one time I could try and get them back for the way I grew up, it would be during a rugby match, but I still failed to do that.
That was a great matchup, man. It's got to be a fight for that last piece of chicken at dinner for you guys. After last year's MLR championship, you and a few of the boys came to Alaska and you guys did a youth clinic. And I know you guys go on tour with youth clinics in your off seasons, and that you guys give so much back to youth rugby in America. Why do you dedicate tireless hours to the development of youth rugby in the communities?
A great question, Kevin. I think this speaks to who we want to be remembered for. It's great to win championships, but quite frankly, we're first generation professional rugby players, right? And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that probably only the purest rugby fans will remember, our championships. But more the impact we have in our community is important to us, and it's important to have sustainable success as a franchise, right? We want to be able to set the benchmark on, people always ask me, Shalom, why rugby? Especially as we're surrounded by, Americans' legacy sports such as basketball, football, and baseball, right? And I think with rugby, and you say it with confidence, what differentiates us between the other professional outfits is, the values of our game. And the game's given us so much. We want to make sure that that's, rugby will always be a people-first sport, a community sport. And the whole aspect of what we did last year was, it's we want to be able to give back to the community. And so what we did was charged a small amount of $20. Rugby is a sport of diversity, inclusion, and equality, and we want to make sure that it's affordable to attend something where you get a t-shirt and a fun experience, and all that money goes back towards grassroots rugby. Kids who hopefully it goes towards participation. Obviously there are fixed costs at that level, and then for us, that's we're truly adding value to growing the game, and we're just doing our small part really. And there's a lot of stories amongst the boys when we were kids, and somebody came in and showed us about rugby, and everyone looks for a role model, and you never know the impact we have. So and the long and the short of it, that's part of the reason really, and that's something that's stuck with the boys. It's player driven here, and the boys know that if you come to Seattle, this is just as important to what we do on the field.
Now, that's a great contribution to your community and the legacy you're leaving behind, contributing to the youth. It's an awesome mantle, and I can't wait to host you in Anchorage again this year.
No, we're excited, Kevin. We look forward to coming back. Now you got a bunch of the guys wanting to do the Alaska segment, so there'll be a bunch of rock, paper, scissors going down on this end.
Bro, we can fit all you guys up in the cabins at the Alaska Mountain Rugby Grounds. Well, this has been Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. My guest today has been Shalom Suniula, captain of the Seattle Seawolves. And Shalom, I'm going to let you go, man. I know you got more meetings, more practices, and some game tape to watch on your San Diego Legion opponents. You'll be playing Saturday at Torero Stadium. Is that correct? What time?
Yes, I believe it's Sunday, 2 o'clock Pacific time.
All right, mate. Well, cheers, and I can't wait to watch you on the pitch, man, and talk to you again.
Kevin, thank you, my friend.
You're back with Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. I'm joined by Dennis Gum. And Denny over here. Denny, you're going to tell us what a New England Free Jack is. What is a Free Jack, bro?
While Kevin was talking about Major League Rugby, I was Googling Free Jack, and what I found was that the new team, New England Free Jacks, it has a Revolutionary War theme, and it has to do with being free of the Union Jack, getting out from under the English thumb, the British thumb. And it also mentioned in there that over 25,000 colonials died in the war, which is the second most number of casualties other than our U.S. Civil War. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I just got through reading it. I'm sure that some fact-based guys out there will shoot me down on that, but
25,000 died in the Revolutionary War. I never knew that stat. How many people were living back there? I thought there was only like 6,000 people living on the East Coast back then. What was the population?
It was like 1.3 million or something back then.
Oh, look at us. I mean, that's why we were able to make it work. That's why we were able to win. Look at that. That's great numbers by attrition. We only lost 25,000. That's great.
When
we
you
won.
lose one, it's not great. But anyway, moving
No.
Let's talk about the Gilronis or whatever they are.
The Gilgronis are named after a new Texas-sized cocktail to be released soon. End quote. Are you kidding me? So they invented a drink, named their team after it. What is this? A drink that doesn't exist yet, though. They made it up.
Maybe it had something to do with when they bought the Austin team, they couldn't carry over the previous name, the Elites or the Herd, whatever.
They specifically wanted a rebrand. And, rebrand's cool. I'm all about. I understand why you need to rebrand.
Austin, they love the Austin teams.
Austin Elite last year, 2019, went 0-16. They went 0-16. They did not win a game. I was actually in Starfire Stadium for the Seattle Seawolves season finale against the Austin Herd, and I got to tell you, they mopped the floor with them.
Unlike the Austin Crows, Aussie Rules team that has actually been the champion several years in a row. I have a...
This is nothing but rugby. Shoot the boot. This is nothing but rugby. You must shoot the boot.
You're right. It's Aussie Rules Rugby. Come on.
Oh, we'll be shooting the boot. Let's tally one up for Denny Gum. We'll be shooting the boot. We got to grab a beer. We're drinking that Arctic Warrior Ale. But let's get back to the Gilgronis.
My take, what a dumbass name.
Shoot the boot. Shoot the boot. Shoot the boot. Shoot the boot.
Look at all that foam.
Yeah, it's the cotton in there. I don't know. It's the foam. Down in one. Chug, chug, chug. Woo! There you go. Tilt that boot high. It's all in the heel.
Oh, that foam on my mustache.
All that foam.
Tastes good, though. I needed that. Very refreshing.
Is it refreshing?
It was refreshing.
Because beer is best. Beer is best. It makes you big, it makes you strong, puts more muscle on the old ding dong. Beer makes Bonnie babies, puts hair upon your chest, big chest. What did Adam say to Eve? But beer is best.
Thank you, Canadians.
But getting back to it, the Gilgringos. I can't wait to drink my first Gilgringo.
Gilgringos?
Gilgringos. Gilgronis. Gilgronis.
The Mickey Gilly Gringos.
Really excited for these Gilgronis.
They're tainted for life. The Gil Gringos.
All right, we're back. This is Nothing But Rugby with Kevin Hein. And I'm here with Denny Gum, and I got to shoot the boot.
Arctic Warrior,
In
American
Kangaroo
Ale,
Court.
Matanuska Brewing Company. Go. Little advertisement there. Oh my God, you spilled half of it. You did good. You did good.
Everyone's got to be held accountable.
Somebody run down and get another case of beer.
And right
We're
now,
running out of beers.
I'm holding Austin Gilgronis accountable for their season right now. I don't know. Everything tells me there's going to be transition. There's going to be moving pains between them.
You know, I can't say Gilgroni without laughing.
It's a Texas-sized cocktail.
They're probably all laughing too.
It's a Texas-sized cocktail.
Or either that, or it's a Texas-sized cock.
And they have elite rugby. So no matter, maybe their whole plan is that no matter what the name is, no matter what the mascot is, they have world-class rugby. And
if you were from Texas, you'd probably know that Gilgroni means a Texas-sized cock.
Hey, we are the Alaska Usyks. Everyone knows what an Usik is, right, Denny? What's an Usyk?
It's a walrus penis.
It's a
big old heavy bone.
Frozen Usyks, February 22nd at 2:22 p.m. Really excited for that on Delaney Park Strip, downtown between 7th and 8th. Really excited. That's going to be a good one. That's a classic every year.
A lot of fun.
We all go out there, men, women, children, and there's it's like an oversized rugby ball, right? But it's not like a beach ball. It's not hollow. It's a heavy rugby ball.
It's just a big rugby ball.
It's just a big rugby ball.
Ginormous. We'll have to bring one of those in as a prop.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Oh, yeah.
I've got one. At the Frozen Usyk, we're out there in 2 feet of snow, all bundled up, and in some cases not bundled up, in some cases dressed in outrageous outfits, and everybody just has a great time playing grab-ass rugby in the snow, in the deep snow.
This week's Weekly Spotlight is military rugby in America. We got great clubs like the Bobs, the Band of Brothers. We got amazing touring sides like the Wandering Warriors, Old Breed Rugby Club. There's a ton. Military rugby is alive and well. The Armed Forces Championships are at the Glendale Sevens every year. Great bracket where every single branch has a team. The women's Armed Forces Championships are at Cape Fear Sevens, also hosting one at Salute to Service Rugby Tournament in Las Vegas. Halloween weekend, going to be great. Military rugby is thriving. You've had the Army boys have won that Glendale Sevens Armed Forces Championships 7 years in a row now. In fact, I'm thinking about giving Michael Melendez a call. You know what? Let's call Michael Melendez right now.
Probably get an answering machine.
Hey, Cap.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, brother. What's up, man?
You right now, you are on speakerphone at Upper One Studios for the inaugural episode of Nothing But Rugby podcast. I'm here sitting beside me is Denny Gum. Denny, say hi.
Hey, you can talk right now. You're not like getting out of the shower or anything, right?
Are you busy?
No, I'm good. I'm in the office right now.
Oh, he's at the office. Wonderful, wonderful. So, how about first things first? How about
Go ahead and talk.
How about you tell everybody what the office is? What are you doing down in Salt Lake City, where we're calling you at?
Well, I am actually a Utah Army National Guard recruiter right now. So I'm currently on my part-time, away from rugby. I am a recruiter here and try to put some guys in boots and hopefully better people's futures.
Better people's futures. What's your what's the number one reason you think an American citizen should join the United States military?
Wow. That's a great question. Actually,
I got an answer for it, but because Michael, we served together, and to give you a little context to it, like for me, it's about the legacy. It's about the legacy you leave behind that family name.
I agree completely. I actually joined the military because when I was younger, we were homeless, and a gentleman took us in by the name of Albert Kuhn, and he was prior military. He was part of the Screaming Eagles, and he was an airborne paratrooper. And I kind of wanted to follow that legacy, that tradition of serving your country, providing that sacrifice for your family, and just being all you can be. So.
Yeah, you were young when you had this experience with this Screaming Eagle, right?
Absolutely.
And so he was like one of those influential. You saw him, you had an experience with him, and you're like, wow, this is a grown up that has it figured out, that's doing it right. Look at how much everybody looks at him and respects him. So that's huge, and it's unbelievable that you were a mentor like that to me when I got in. Yeah, you were a mentor like that to me, brother. And I think it's awesome that you are able to that you're on the front lines right now, inspiring the youth of America, being that guy. It's awesome that you visualize yourself as you become him. But as great as an accomplishment you are actually the reason we're giving you a big call is, right. You are. I want you to be a speaker of our weekly. We do a weekly spotlight, and this week's spotlight is military rugby in America, and I don't think there's anybody that can talk on the subject better than you, with the experience you have and all your gold medals with the Army Rugby Club, with the Army Rugby team at the Glendale Sevens Championships. You've been the Iron Man. You've been on the all team. You've been all team for what tournament was it? Was it 2018?
2018 and 2017, yeah.
2017 and 2018, one of the all tournament teams. That's a highly competitive Division I tournament. And the success the Army has had in it, always annually making it to the semifinals and always being a fan favorite. It was awesome to watch you guys in person this year, and just someone like yourself, a veteran of the squad like you, that just gives back to the community and trains.
And a former Legionnaire, I might add.
He is gonna. We haven't even talked about the J Bear Arctic Legion Military Rugby Club is where me and Mike really first met. We brought Michael in as the head coach of the J Bear Arctic Legion Military Rugby Club. I think that was your first coaching position, was it not?
Yeah, it was actually no. Well, it was my second coaching position. I had one in Fort Bragg, but that was my first official one, and that was a great experience. Honestly, just watching guys develop from not knowing too much about rugby to excelling at a high level of rugby.
Yeah, and yeah, the drills that you brought, that you came in here, the culture that you came in and influenced. I had because it was interesting. I was not only captain of your squad.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, I was. You named me skipper. It was, yep. But I was on the board as I think I was treasurer at that time. So it was this really interesting thing where it's like. My relationship with you were really, and then you were an NCO in the other company, and I was just a young private or specialist. I can't remember even at the time, but you as a mentor in those years, very influential to me. You were the reason I ever got on the Army squads, and so there's no better person to have on the show right now to discuss military rugby and get a background of it.
You made it pretty easy for me, man. You came in you came in with raw talent. And you were coachable, and you wanted to learn, and that's honestly like what was instilled in the Arctic Legions when they saw you as the captain of the team, man.
Oh, thank you, man. Coachability is something I really take pride in. Being coachable, it's difficult. There's a lot of people in this world that don't. There's a lot of talented people in this world that don't respect authority, don't listen to elders, don't. Mind their P's and Q's, and they don't want to listen. They're not listening.
But some of us respond well to shithead, get over here.
I did well in the Army. I did, yeah, because I can respond to that. All right, man. So I got 10 or 11, 12, maybe 12 questions prepared right here to really let everybody get to know who Michael Melendez is, and let's. You want to get into it? You ready for these questions?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, question 1. When did you first play rugby?
2012. I was actually a football player. I played college football, and I was in Fort Bragg. I just joined the military, and they saw me playing flag football. So a couple of gentlemen were like, "Hey, have you ever played rugby?" I told myself, "No, I don't even know what it is." They were like, "It's football, but without pads."
We've all heard that.
Let's try it out.
That's awesome. And you tried it out and you fell in love with it?
I fell in love with it instantly. Just knowing that you can make full contact with somebody. And
you were a boxer. You were a football player and a boxer, right?
Yeah. Football,
yeah, you love contact, bro.
And basketball.
You love contact. All right. Second question. Where are you from?
I was born in Puerto Rico. And I was raised there till I was 7. Then I moved up to Alaska, and I was raised in beautiful Alaska.
Yeah, you spent a whole lot of your childhood and teen years and really those shaping years here in Alaska.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a wild kid up in Alaska.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Diamond High School.
All right, shout out to Diamond High School.
There you go, Diamond High School. You know, if you aren't already, I'm going to make it a quick little mission of mine. I know some coaches out at Diamond in the in the other communities. If you're not, you're going to be a Hall of Famer, bro. I don't know. Are you in their athletic Hall of Fame yet?
Not yet.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. How long have you been graduated?
I've been graduated since 07 now.
Since 07. That was my freshman year. My freshman year of high school was 07. All right, question 3.
Making me feel old.
Still got to make some more accolades. I think I'm aiming for another.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna. You want me to really make you blush? I got your accolades right in front of me. I got your resume right in front of me, man. I can pull that thing up.
God.
Big fan. All right, ready? Are you ready for question 3?
Question 3, send it.
What is your least favorite house chore?
Least favorite house chore. I would say, taking out the trash. I can't stand taking out the trash.
Who likes handling trash?
I thought you were going to say changing the hamster cage.
Well, I got a Rottweiler, so I think picking up his poop is also terrible.
Picking up Uso's poop that's a big dog. He must leave big logs, man.
Big dog, man.
I don't even clean up dog poop. I am that guy. You know, I'm that kind of guy. If my dog poops in the woods and no one's around to see it, I don't pick it up. If people see it, even if people see it, I don't pick it up.
And they're like, some guy just left this dog stuff here.
Watch where you step. I once had a neighbor come by. There's this big field next to my house.
Oh, hey,
I once had this neighbor come by. I'm getting a little off topic, and then you can make me shoot the boot because I am off topic because this is too good of a story. Is too good of a story.
So we had a rugby tournament up at the Alaska Rugby Grounds not too long ago.
Oh,
yeah, my dog.
This dog ran onto the field right in the middle of a game and took a big poop, and he had to take his Hawaiian shirt and run out and scoop it up.
My 9-week-old Labradoodle. You can go find the video.
That went viral.
The video of my dog did go viral. You can check it out.
That dog is the first dog in
Rugby Sevens magazine on Instagram.
That got a flag.
Yeah, they red carded my puppy dog. Yeah, they red carded him.
Carded your dog.
The ref red carded him. That's right.
All right. We got a little off. All right, question 4. What is your greatest rugby accomplishment?
Greatest rugby accomplishment would definitely be being the Army soldier athlete of the military because of rugby.
Can you say that again? Can you go through? What was that title?
It's Army soldier athlete of the year for 2018.
Oh, that is awesome.
It was kind of like shocking to receive that call, but honestly, it was probably my biggest accolade that I've ever had, and it all came from rugby.
No, man, yeah, that's unbelievable. Well, you've been on so many championship squads. You lead the camps, right? You lead the clinics with under Coach Strone and Locke, and you're a staple of the team, right? You're just a perennial team culture guy that's just always gonna not just know his responsibility and his role, but like he knows the others. You know everybody else's. So when you see guys slacking, you pick up slack, man. You got one of the best engines in the game, at any point, but. That's 2018 Soldier Athlete of the Year across the whole Army. That is how many mofos are in the Army?
541,000.
541,000 armed service members in the Army. And now, if it's an Olympic sport, it means that the Army is supplying soldiers to it. If it's an Olympic sport like curling, jitsu, whatever it is, there are military representatives at that Olympic training facility on the taxpayers' dimes training. You've never been that guy.
Yep.
You never made the WCAP program, no matter how many applications. I don't want to. You hear the anger in my voice that you haven't been selected for it. But of all those guys that did get selected for it, that were being paid to train it, you still beat all those Greco wrestlers, those freestyle wrestlers. You beat the other rugby players, and to get that award, you beat all of them. Over 541,000.
Yep. Yeah.
That is an unbelievable. That is adversity. That is overcoming an obstacle. That is awesome. Question 5, Michael Melendez. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? I love me some ribs. some good barbecue ribs. I can live every single day.
I get it. I totally get it. You talked about how much you went to Diamond, you spent some time here in Alaska, and I get it. There's no good barbecue here in Alaska. So when you find good barbecue out in the lower 48, or you come from good barbecue, like I have, it's special. It's special. Barbecue is great. I went down and visited my parents this weekend and
out to Roscoe's.
had an all-you-can-eat barbecue's ribs. Roscoe's is pretty good. So is the smokehouse.
I gotta give all the credit. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to all the Polynesians up in Alaska. Honestly, like they made the best barbecue up there, and I loved going over to my friend's place and just seeing them cook.
We love the Usos.
Had a great time there.
We love the Usos. That's awesome, man.
All right, question 6. Let's get it.
Question 6. Do you have a favorite rugby song?
Do I have a favorite rugby song? Actually, I just follow the trend. Honestly, my guy that sang the most was you, actually, Kevin, when it came to rugby songs.
I'm a good culture guy. I love singing the songs. I partake. I have a good time.
So Mike sings the chorus. He really doesn't know him.
Is there
fellow kind of guy.
Is there a favorite song you love listening to me sing? What was your favorite song to hear me sing?
I really can't remember any of them, to tell you the truth.
This is very interesting. I just want to put it out right there, like the difference in the rugby cultures. I mean, Michael's a guy that grew up in the professional club looking scene. Like he's a guy that he lives like a professional. You know, your routine, your scrimmage. You're not one of the guys that's drinking at the socials and you're leaving early with your wonderful wife Michelle because you have beautiful kids in Maria and Riri. So it's like you're one of the family men of the rugby community. You're a patriarch, and you can't be there singing the songs and wasting bandwidth on it. But that's where guys like me come in, brother. That's where guys like me come in, and I can pull the all-nighter. Me and Denny, we can pull the all-nighters. We can drink. We can sing.
Beautiful wife, beautiful kids, and a big turd dog.
Big turd dog.
Big turd dog.
All right.
Honestly, my focus was more on the pre-game music more than anything. So, I'm somewhat of a believer in the good Lord. So when it came down to the music in the beginning, that's what I would play, and it carried our team, to 7.
Okay. I got a change up question then. Got to change it. What is your favorite verse? Prayer verse from the Bible to read pre-game. I know you're always. I know you read the Bible. I know a lot of people. I don't read the Bible. I've read it. I've read parts. I've heard plenty of it. But I know you're a man of faith, right? You have Bible study with your family, with your daughters. It's a beautiful thing. Do you have a favorite verse before games? A favorite prayer of protection, perhaps?
I actually do. It's I will trample over the lion and the serpent. It's Psalms 91:13. So it's if you want me to read it real quick, it actually says.
You can read. You can read it. We might cut it out. I'm kidding.
No, you're good. It's essentially you will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. So essentially, it was stating that through him you will overcome everything, and with that, it's brought to notion that it's actually very true to me, because once I state that. I put it on my wrist. I go into a game, and I feel like I can overcome anything with him. So
I love the visualization of the lion trampling the serpent.
Yeah.
I like picturing that in my head, and of course, me being the lion, my opponents being the serpent. That's beautiful.
Absolutely, man.
That's awesome. All right. Question 7. You ready for question 7? Who is the greatest player you've ever shared the pitch with?
Greatest player that I've ever shared the pitch with. Are we talking about during practices, or are we talking about during games?
Well, I'm very interested in the practice take of it as well.
Okay.
The question was meant for game, right? The question was meant for game as an opponent or a teammate.
Answer both.
But yeah, please answer both. That's great insight.
Okay, great. Greatest player in a game, I would have to say Maka Unufe and Cody Melfi. Maka, it was during 2016. He was just showing up for the Falcons during that time, and his speed was unreal. It was so hard to track him, and just seeing how he saw the field was phenomenal. Cody Melfi, I'm sure you know, Cody Melfi just has an IQ of rugby that has excelled him to being part of that world-class athlete program right now. You know, he was just down doing a tournament right now where he excelled above a lot of people in that tournament.
He played really well filling in for Madison Hughes in Sydney this last tournament. I watched every game, and actually we're going to talk a little bit about it. Cody Melfi, watching him play in person on the Glendale Sevens team with guys I've played with, and to be able to see a guy of that high caliber coordinate with disciplined Army military guys that can stay to structure an organization, it was an absolute pleasure to watch. I was sorry I was never on one of the Army squads with Cody.
And you had every talent to be, honestly. Like that's without a word. So I can't say anything else about that.
Yeah.
But for practice, I would say Perry Baker. I had the pleasure in 2000, I believe it was 2018. They invited me over to a trial camp at the World Class Athletes Program Olympic Training Center, and Perry Baker was there with me, and the speed that he had was unreal.
So, with that in mind, I got a question for you.
Yes.
Side question, all right?
Side question. Who's going to get to 200 first, Isles or Baker?
I have to go with I'd have to go with Perry. I love Carlin to death. Me and Carlin actually talk all the time. But I feel like Perry's going to have it. You know.
Right, yeah. I mean, to give you some context, in case you weren't positive on the numbers, Carlin Isles is at 199 and Perry Baker is at 198. No player in U.S. history.
He's at 198. Perry's at 198, but I think that he's going to be playing a little bit more aggressive to get there to 200.
Yeah, I think we're going to. It just depends on who's going to get more use in the pool play. Because honestly, it's so few tries. These guys are both going to be well over 200. But if the question of legacy and who gets it first, if that's important. And I hope it is. Honestly, I hope it is important to them because iron sharpens iron, and that if these guys are pushing each other to score, I mean, I want USA scoring a bunch of points, and to see these two in a competition for the rest of time for the all-time high, like that's fantastic. To see that these two guys during the same generation, two of the best that have ever played for USA in the same generation, pushing each other to make each other better. That is awesome.
Absolutely. And I think by the next tournament, it's gonna be pretty close. I think it might be. I want to say it's gonna be 204 Perry, 203 Carlin.
That's an interesting. I like the prediction. Interesting prediction. I bet Perry Baker ends well in the 300 club. I think Perry Baker's going to be the first to get the 300 club. I think that dude's got years left to play, years left to run, and he gets so much better. He's the two-time MVP of the whole world in Rugby Sevens. So, I mean, he just keeps getting better. He just keeps getting better. Carlin Isles, interesting enough, this is his 55th HSBC rugby tournament, right? Which is number one on the roster. Second to him is Danny Barrett at 51. No one else has as much experience. Carlin Isles is USA Eagles' most veteran player, and I think that's an interesting stat. But he's so fast still. He hasn't lost a step. He's a guy that can just keep playing. So I think he's a guy that might reach that 300 club as well. And I can't wait to have the conversation.
Honestly, watching Carlin's development in the game is actually pretty amazing. Just seeing that, he took his talents from being on the track and field, and instead of being one consistent speed throughout the game, he's actually finally realized how to gauge that. He's realized how to hold the defender steady and then take off around the corner. And that's pretty amazing to watch him and Perry both.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Hold the defender steady. For the viewers at home that just weren't able to quite visualize what you're saying, what gold nugget of information of analysis did you just give us of the world's greatest rugby player, Carlin Isles?
Well, so what hold the defender steady means not letting the defender know what your true speed is yet. So bringing them close enough where when he starts breaking down, catching him off on his off foot, and being able to quickly accelerate and come around that corner again. So holding your defender steady just means knowing when to turn your engines on.
Having that faster step. I don't have that faster step, but I know how to hold a defender. It's 2 hands on the ball, and always, you're not really going, you can go pretty full speed, but you got to make that defender hold still and respect that pass. The second you tuck it like a football player, and they know that they can commit to the tackle, but you keep 2 hands on it, you can freeze that defender exactly how you're saying it. If you don't have that step, and if you have the step, that's something Perry Baker does better than everybody. Perry Baker keeps 2 hands on the ball, freezes his guy, and then he boots a grubber to himself. He's unbelievable, the dimensions that Perry Baker has developed in the last few years. We're talking about a guy that got cut from the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad as a wide receiver, 2-time world champion, and the greatest player you've ever practiced with. You're telling me that this guy puts in the work. I know you put in the work, and if you're impressed by a guy putting in this kind of work at practice, I've seen you in the weight room with the fella. Man, absolutely.
There's a great YouTube clip.
You don't get to a spot in your life where you are the best in the world unless you're putting in that work. You know, Michael Jordan. A side note from that was he was a basketball player that, you know, he was considered the greatest in the world. But at practice, he was always going 110% every single time. So if you want to be that, you have to be able to go 110% every single time, no matter where you're at. So.
100% every single time. What an engine. It's all about having an engine. Okay, question. That was a good one. Question, what are we, 8? Question 8?
I believe so.
Where is your favorite place? What is your favorite venue? What is your favorite stadium to play?
The city of Glendale. I've played there for...
Great memories affiliated with the city of Glendale, huh?
Yeah.
All them championships, all them gold medals.
Oh, I love it. Every single time I go there, you just get this vibrant, like, chills throughout your body, knowing that represent not only yourself, but the military and your fellow brothers in arms. Like, that's just, it's an amazing feeling, and the people there are great. Like, they're so energetic. They're always cheering for you no matter what, you know. So I look forward to every single time going there in August and just having a great time. So, city of Glendale.
Yeah, Infinity Park is an awesome stadium to play in, great facilities. It's like stone. It feels like a gladiator stadium, you know. It has a real, like, Coliseum vibe to it, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Question 9. Great answer. Love playing Infinity Park in Glendale. Why didn't it work out between you and your high school sweetheart?
Why didn't it work out?
Is that a good question? You like that question? You don't have to answer that question. We'll just burn that question. We don't need to answer that. You can forget about talking about your high school sweetheart on the big radio, man. We don't need to talk about that. Uh-oh. We'll just skip on to question 10. We don't need to talk about that. We'll just talk about question 10.
Going on here in a minute here.
You can't see that though. So question 10. Let's not talk about that. Question 10. We'll just curve over that.
We're gonna get doused with. I'm looking at the sprinklers right now, hoping they don't go off.
We're all okay. So, Michael Melendez.
Yes.
What question 10? The conclusion of this interview, right? This is what does legacy mean to you, and what do you want to leave behind with your legacy?
I think that's exactly what legacy means to me. Leaving something behind that is actually pure and motivates people to be better themselves. You know, I wake up every morning to try to build my own legacy here, so that people can portray it in their own lives. You know that I'm doing the 500 push-ups a day challenge right now.
I know. That's unbelievable, man. You were doing it with Riri on your back.
Well, the reason why I'm doing that isn't to say, hey, I can do 500 push-ups. It's to show that if you're consistent with your daily lifestyle, that you can essentially better yourself to be a better form of yourself. So, you know, legacy just means leaving a tradition that is going to be good for people to portray in their lives. You know, that's what legacy means to me. So,
this has been 10 questions, 10 Q&A questions with Michael Melendez. Michael, thank you for tuning in, man. You want to give a quick shout out for how people can reach you on the social media and stuff? Follow you. Yeah. You put out real positive content, rugby content. Our viewers at home love Sevens rugby, and they love nothing but rugby. So you're a guy that you should be affiliated with, man. You're great energy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kevin, for giving me a call and letting me have this interview with you guys. Well, I have an Instagram account right now, which is clearly development of rugby, development of soldier life skills, and just development of a person as a whole. So,
Coming up with that routine for that legacy, that discipline.
It's M Melendez 8, and I look forward to setting up some rugby clinics and giving my knowledge about the sport to the world, and also just seeing people develop on a daily basis. So thank you again for giving me a call, and I really appreciated this.
All right, Mike. I can't wait to see you. Hey, am I going to see you in LA? Are you going to the LA Sevens?
I am actually trying to work the process right now for the Army team to actually show up there. So,
there it is.
We're trying. We'll see. We'll see if I can get there to the LA. But I know that you have sent me invitations to multiple tournaments. So
hey man,
trying to make one of those.
We got some hotels booked. You come down. You play with me, and we're going to do a 5. There's a sand rugby beach team. I didn't put a team in the LA Sevens, but I'm putting together a beach rugby team. Come play on the beach, socialize. We're inviting everybody, all our viewers, and nothing but rugby to be there. We're auctioning off a jersey. You come to LA, man. Fucking come play on my squad there in sand rugby and have a real good time.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Kevin.
Look at that. Mike Melendez just committed to our Nothing But Rugby team. Oh, boy, we're going to be a loaded squad. We're going to be a loaded squad, but we're still looking for 3 or 4 more people to fill the bench. Michael, thanks for answering your phone, brother. Good talking with you, man.
Brother.
Tell Michelle, Riri, and Maria I said hi.
You guys, good day.
Denny?
Hey, later, buddy. You're in Salt Lake, right?
Yes, sir.
The Bobs will probably be in Aspen again this year for Ruggerfest.
Oh, really? Okay. Yep. And I did definitely get a message from Kevin.
I sent him all the invites. All right, man. Cheers. I'll see you later.